Aloha, beautiful fam, Bliss, dropping in for a little miraculous love stream together, a little touch in on the great transformations internally and externally in all of our relations. I just finished yoga, my favorite yoga studio. And our beautiful instructor ended the class in such a tender and sensitive way in the Shavasana. And he was talking about emotion and reaction and response and triggers. And he was saying that he's always the first to respond with crying and kicking and screaming to things that feel sensitive. And we were talking after the class, and I was just laughing with him about that honesty and that vulnerability that he was sharing. And even though planets aren't real and don't exist, if they were real, we're still in this Venus retrograde. So as a metaphor, as this Venus retrograde completes tomorrow, it's been a retrograde about deep dive into those very sensitivities in relationship. We've had the opportunity since Venus went retrograde many miracle weeks ago to do deeper dives inside of ourselves and in relation with each other, to really explore those sensitive edges. And in exploring those sensitive edges, this is the miracle coordinate of discovering what we have uncovered and revealed that allows us to open more expansively now as we move forth into these energies of 2022. These energies of creativity and superabundance and love and creating new things. And when we have the restriction or the constriction around our heart and our emotions and our capacity to push through the patterns, to push through the egoic structures. We're crossing here, so we're keeping an eye on the light. There we go. When we have the capacity and the willingness to stay with the discomfort, one friend calls it a compression breakthrough. But when we have the capacity to keep moving forth into the feelings that arise in our relations, our connections together, that is the very gift that we are giving ourselves to unlock ourselves from these old patterns and these old ways. And so this beautiful yoga instructor from this morning said to me that he always says we're living in a post-traumatic stress disorder world, that everyone is coming out of some kind of trauma. And we could describe it in that way, or we could say that we're finally rising up out of the soil, the underworld, the darkness, the place where the seed is planted so that it can develop roots and connect into that planetary energy to crack open its very shell. And sometimes it feels like cracking. And that's okay. The relations that we steward are key as we move forth into a world that is transcendent of a middleman, transcendent of the corporation, transcendent of borders, transcendent of boundaries, taxes, passports, vaxes, and all that stuff. This is the way of the great consciousness of love that is releasing and relinquishing our atomic structure from density. And so for each one of us, there is an opportunity to ride this wave like a pro, you know, Laird Hamilton, big wave surfer. Ride it like a pro and have fun. This is the miracle, to have fun. So dive deep, go deep, and understand that we are all in it together. There is no one person who is different or separate from the whole. We are interconnected. That's the gene that was just activated by the sun in the I Ching today. It's the gene of interconnectedness, that revelation that we all go through it together. We all go through it simultaneously. What one feels, the whole feels. And when we truly understand that what one is feeling, the whole is feeling, our sense of, such a good word for this, our sense of, this word was really, really powerful for me many years ago as I was unlocking from the blueprint. It'll come. Just the revelation and the understanding that each one of us is coming undone. And so we have the opportunity to choose. We have the opportunity to choose how we want to do this. I choose happiness. I choose joy. I choose play. I choose laughter. I choose love. And I'm starting a 3-part transmission tonight. It is called Love, Sex, and Everything. And I invite you to join me on this tour of what that's all about. That unlocking of these codes within ourselves, such that we can really begin to experience the great intimacy in relationships that everyone is really desiring. And intimacy just means our capacity to connect at that place of the divinity that brings us both life, that gives us both life. So if you're interested in joining me in this great transmission, and I promise that every transmission that comes through me is absolutely transformative, just like the transmissions Richard Rudd brought through for the Gene Keys. Oracles bring through transmissions. Transmissions are coming from beyond the ego. They are reading cosmic information. You could say cosmic scripts that can assist all to have these great epiphanies. And that's what this transmission, Love, Sex, and Everything, is about to unlock and unfold inside of us. So if you're interested in joining, all the notes are in the description box. And if this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's all gifting. It's kind of funny to think of every human coming from a post-traumatic stress disorder world in a humorous way. We'll keep it light and just understand that we're all doing this together. We're all figuring it out together. Everyone has a puzzle piece. Communication is key. Our capacity to stay together in the communication and be able to voice ourselves and keep voicing ourselves until we can find that true communication beneath all the levels and layers of constriction. because really there's only one communication that is ever going on, and that is the communication of love and that longing for deep connection. So, I love you. I'm so grateful for my great teacher Sean this morning in our great yoga class, and all those poses and postures we did to open up our hips and our heart, because they're all connected, and to meet those places inside of ourselves that may feel uncomfortable, and not run from them. Stay with them, hold the hand of them, hold the hand of another, be willing to hold hands together. Those who are willing to hold our hands together and go through this together are truly the ones that are riding the wave that will reveal the miraculous as it already is. I love you. We love we. Thank you for tuning in. And if this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. Aloha.